Hey there folks, today I'd like to take a casual peek into the Minimates Marvel's Hawkeye and Black Widow 2-pack set from Diamond Select Toys and Art Asylum. This set is part of Wave 17 of the Toys R Us series of Minimates and was first available in 2013, I'm guessing, and sold at Toys R Us for about $7.50. I received this set as a holiday gift at the end of 2013 from my good friend on the interwebs and YouTube personality GarHoch. Thank you, and hang loose there. And if you're interested in watching his videos on YouTube, you can take a peek at a link to his channel down in the description below. And taking a closer peek at the 2-pack here of Hawkeye and the Widow, and these are the characters in their Marvel Now renditions, I believe. And you could see Hawkeye on the left and Widow here on the right. And these figures are in the packaging style for Wave 17 of the Toys R Us series, which is a purplish colored set. And it's showing up as blue though on my video screen, and probably in the video due to my camera's problem with processing the shade of purple. But you can see the two figures there. You can see an accessory there in the window, and behind that a pamphlet. And on this side of the packaging you can see an artist rendition of Hawkeye, or Marvel's Hawkeye. And on this side we have Black Widow. And over here we have the back of the packaging, and we have the other sets or figures that are part of Wave 17. And you can tell it's Wave 17 up here in the top corner of the TRU series, or Toys R Us series. And we have here Alien Symbiote Venom, Marvel's Nova, Robot Hulk, and Rescue Armor Iron Man in the back row. And on the front row we have Superior Spider-Man, Ultimate Electro, and of Hawkeye and Black Widow from this set. And down below that we have brief bios for Marvel's Hawkeye and Black Widow. Now we'll be right back and have the contents of this set out of the package. Okay, we have Hawkeye and Black Widow out of the packaging. And now we're going to go ahead and take a closer peek at the items that came included with both figures. And starting off with this here. This is a pamphlet of Marvel licensed product, basically items sold through Diamond Select Toys. And going through it, you can see we have here a few Marvel Select items from Spider-Man and Iron Man. And let's see here, Wolverine, Venom, and Nightcrawler there. Pretty cool. And on the other side we have Minimates, various different series, such as 49 there, the Iron Man 3 series, and Minimates Series 50, and these Minimates are sold through specialty shops and comic shops. Minimates Series 51, and a box set of Hulk Through the Ages. And we have the TRU series sold through Toys R Us, Series 15 there. So pretty cool pamphlet there. And we're going to go ahead and start off taking a closer peek at Black Widow and her accessory items. And we're going to head and take a look at the figure here first. And it's a pretty cool figure of Black Widow in her, Marvel Now getup, or the rendition of the character. And it's pretty cool. It's not much different from previous renditions of Black Widow. She's in her dark colored jumpsuit or bodysuit. And she has her iconic bracers here for her, I guess her Widow's Kiss and Widow's Bite abilities there, and the line ability. And of course she has her iconic belt of discs on there with the Widow symbol in the middle, and that's done very well. I like it on there. It's the typographic has been applied very well. It's just no bleeds and no mismarks or anything. It's just very well done. I like it very much. And you have of course Black Widow with her head sculpt there and her flowing red hair, her scarlet colored hair. It's sculpted nicely on there. It's very cool in a like a windswept sculpt there. It's pretty nice. And she has pretty much a stern expression on her face. So yeah, she really means business. So that's pretty cool. And going back to the bracers here, it's actually kind of neat. I like them. They're sculpted on there, and one of the bracers on my figure was pushed up way into the bicep area when I got it out of the package, but I was able to push it back down toward her wrists there. So that's pretty cool that it's sculpted, not just painted onto the figure there. So pretty nice. It's got some nice sculpting detail. And then she also wears a pair of holsters for her pistols, which is pretty neat. Now, the jumpsuit overall, it's pretty plain. It's not much to add to the suit, and the coloring is a little different compared to like Hawkeye here. I thought they were both a black colored shade to their suits, but this Black Widow has a tint of blue in it, mixed in with the black, so it's kind of interesting color there. It's actually pretty neat on there. It just provides a variety, not just simple black, like a Hawkeye, which we'll see in a little bit. So, but pretty nice shade of combination of blue and black there. Now she has a pair of shoes here that are a darker shade of that color, but it's still not plain black, but that got a little bit of blue in it, so pretty neat. Now going over articulation for the Widow here, the head is on a bald socket joint, so you can get the head all the way around, and up and down, side to side, even with the flowing hair. You can see flowing hair goes a bit further back from the figure itself, so you can pose it in a variety of positions, so it doesn't really hinder the articulation of the figure, so that's kind of nice. So you can get a variety of poses on the head, which is very cool. And the hair is a separate piece, so you can actually remove it and reposition it if it does get in the way, but it really doesn't that much. The arms are on ball socket joints at the shoulders, so they can go all the way around, in and out about that much, and rotate forward and back a little bit. The elbows do bend on there, and the hands do rotate, although the hands on this one is a little bit stiff, but not too bad there. And the figure does rotate at the waist all the way around, so that's kind of neat. The legs at the hips are on ball socket joints, so they can go up about that much, down and back about that much, as well as out to the side just a little bit before the sculpt of the joint gets in the way. The knees do bend about that far back and extend that far straight, and the feet do go all the way around on there. So pretty much typical Minimate articulation, but freed up a bit more due to the lack of any hindrance of the sculpt. So pretty cool. Now this Black Widow figure does come with a few accessories, not as much as Hawkeye, but there are a few accessories here, such as a pair of silver painted pistols on there. Pretty cool. See if I can get it into focus while I lose one of the pistols here. Yeah, I lost it already. It fell out of frame and onto the floor. But taking a look at this pistol here, painted in silver. Nice pistol there. And the other pistol is essentially the same. And they can be placed in the holsters rather well. You just slip it in there. Let me get that in there. And they have a nice tight fit to it. So that's kind of cool. And the Black Widow also wields it decently in her hand. If I can just slip it on there. And you can see she wields it rather well. So that's kind of cool. Now the one other accessory included with the Widow figure is this here, a display base. And this display base is included one for each figure, which is rather cool. So you don't have to worry about sharing the base anymore between the 2-pack of figures. So that's the Black Widow, and we're going to go ahead and take a peek at the Hawkeye figure as soon as I find that other pistol. Okay, taking a closer peek at Hawkeye. Now, I have to say that the Hawkeye figure is the more equipped of the two figures in this set. He just has a whole bunch of stuff going on with him. And you can see right away, just looking at the figure, he has a whole bunch of stuff. And it's pretty cool. And this is the Marvel Now version of Hawkeye. And I have to say that I'm wondering if they took cues from the Avengers version, movie Avengers Hawkeye, when they designed the Marvel Now version of Hawkeye here, because it looks very similar, or it may have been the other way around. I'm not sure which of the two first came out, but it looks very similar to the movie version of Avengers Hawkeye, in that you got the shades and the gear on here. It looks very similar, but it still looks pretty cool. Here he has much blonder hair on there with a nice hair sculpt there going on. You can see the sculpt of the locks of hair on here. And that's a separate piece, so you can pull it out, readjust it, whatever. And you have Hawkeye here in a black and purple color scheme, even with his shades there. It's got a tint of purple in there, which is pretty cool. And you have Hawkeye here wearing some gear, basically a tight-fitting shirt with purple highlights, and you could see it underneath here. And also he's got some webbing gear or a harness here with some really nice sculpting detail. You can see sculpted pouches on there, even a buckle at the top here. It's pretty cool, and it wraps around his lower or mid torso area there, which is neat. And then going around, you can see attached to the harness is a quiver, which is pretty cool, with some sculpted arrows on there. So that's really, really nice on there. So they supplement the other arrows, that the looser sculpted arrows. You can add that on there. And if you happen to lose these arrows here, he always has a few. He never runs out here, so since that's part of the sculpt there. So that's kind of cool on there. It's pretty neat. And just to show underneath the figure, let's go ahead and pop off the head and remove the harness here. And you can see here he's got that purplish design to his tight-fitting shirt there. So that's kind of cool. And while we are able to see it, we can also see the belt line on there with some sculpting on there, not as detailed as some other sculpted belts, but you can see there it's got some sculpting on there. Better sculpting on the back. You can see I see those as pouches there, so that's kind of cool. And let's go ahead and put this back on, and you just slip it on right there and pop the head back on there, and whoops, go ahead and put the hair piece back, and taking an additional look at the figure, you can see that the Hawkeye figure here has some gloves, one on each hand, fingerless gloves, and these are actually kind of cool. They're sculpted to go up to the forearm area, and it's actually part of the hand as far as the sculpt is concerned, and like most hands, you can remove them, and you can see that this hand is with the glove, or I should say the glove is with the hand here, which is pretty neat. And you can see some more sculpting detail on that, so that's kind of cool. And that just there's a peg in there, you just peg it in, so that's pretty neat. And this figure has a pair of straps along his thighs there. I'm not sure what that's for. I have to look at it in the comics. I don't read comics with Hawkeye in them, other than guest appearances, but I'll have to look at some of the pictures on the interweb what those straps are for, because they don't seem to do anything other than for decoration, so I don't know if he attaches anything to these straps or not. But these are actually separate pieces. They're wrapped pretty tight around the leg, so the only way to remove them is to remove the leg off the joint and then try to slip it off the top of the leg there. So they're very tight fitting in there. And Hawkeye here wears a pair of boots, and it's kind of neat because you can see in addition to the feet, there is boots that go up to the calf on this figure, and it's actually painted on the leg portion of it there in a glossier type of black to help differentiate it between the boot and the leg there. So that's kind of neat how they did that on there. And of course Hawkeye is clad in a black colored bodysuit here, a short sleeved bodysuit here, and of course with the purple additions on there. Now going over articulation for this Hawkeye figure, again it's much like your other Minimates figures in that the head goes all the way around and does go up and down and side to side and around just a little bit, because the harness does restrict the articulation of the head compared to like Black Widow's there. The arms are free of movement there though, so they can go all the way around, out and in, and rotate forward and back. Elbows do bend, so the gloves don't impede the articulation there, and the hands can go all the way around at the wrist, so that's kind of cool. Even with the harness on, the figure can go all the way around at the waist, so that's cool. And the legs have freedom of movement where it can go up, down, and slightly to the back, or all the way to the back I should say, as well as out to the side and rotate front to back as well. The knees do bend, and the feet do rotate. So again, much like your typical Minimate articulation, except for the head where it's a bit restricted. So pretty neat figure there. Now Hawkeye comes with a variety of accessories, and let me see if I can get them balanced there. And of course he has his iconic bow, and it's a simple designed bow there, made of a soft material, so you can really bend it here and there. So and you have to worry about not warping it too much by bending too much. And it has a bowstring there. You can pull it back and it'll just retain its shape. go back to its natural shape after a while, so that's kind of cool. And what's neat about this bow is it has a little hook or clip sculpted into it, so if you want to attach an arrow, you can just clip that in. Just do that there. So that's pretty cool there, so you could do that. So if you wanted to, it doesn't stay in too securely, so it does tend to slip out a little bit, but that's not too bad. Now, for the design of the Minimate, it's a bit difficult to have Hawkeye here wield the bow in both hands, where he has one on the drawstring or bowstring and one on the bow itself. So really the only way to pose the figure with the bow is really just have the bow in one hand on there. And you can try to put the bowstring into the other hand, but I've tried it and it always tends to slip out. So it's not really very many poses where you can have him wielding the bow in both hands, unfortunately. So basically it's just a one-handed grip there, and maybe free up the other hand for an arrow or so. But that's the bow there, and the figure does come with 3 loose arrows, which is kind of cool. They're made of very soft, pliable plastic like the bow, so you can bend it and warp it here and there. All 3 of mine were relatively straight, so which is pretty cool. And the tips of the arrow are painted in silver, which is kind of neat. And then you have the feathered portion here on the back, which is just part of the sculpt of the arrow. And of course, you get 3 of these, so that's pretty cool. And you can place them in the quiver on there, and then now he's got a full quiver of arrows there. So, but he never runs out because he's got that sculpted portion there, so that's kind of neat on there. And of course, one last item here is a display base. So pretty cool that they include 2 now instead of 1 to share between the 2 figures. So you have 1 for each figure. So really nice addition there. Now this is a great piece to have if you're a fan of the Avengers, or West Coast Avengers, or even movie, even though these are comic renditions of the characters. Just pretty cool to have, and I'm very happy to have this as a gift from GarHoch. Thanks again, and hang loose there. And this is my casual peek into the Minimates Marvel's Hawkeye and Black Widow 2-pack set from Asylum. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.